Hello traders, it's Forex Evangelist from Bullish Trend Forex Academy and welcome to our weekly Forex forecast. So welcome to the computer screen traders. So I want us to look at what we have here on the chart and look at some trading opportunities based on macro data, sentiment, geopolitics, and a whole lot of that. So you know how we do it. We start with what we have in terms of data, and we look at the coincident data, what the economy is doing right now. We're not trying to look at the future, like an economic indicator, what has already happened to confirm some trends. So we want to look at what's happening right now. And on my sheet here, I have GBP, Canadian dollar, New Zealand dollar to the upside, and Euro, JPY, Swiss franc as bearish currencies I'm going to be looking to short moving into the new week. Okay. Moving on, I pair GBP as against Euro. That means we have Euro GBP. And next, I try to understand what is happening in terms of sentiment. So know you've also seen some institutional activity to the downside. As of last week, Euro GBP has been pushing to the downside. Euro has been weak. If you watched the video last week, I told you we're expecting some data in Euro that could further weaken the Euro in terms of industrial production, and as well as what's happening in the Middle East regarding the Strait of Hormuz and the dependence of the Euro area, linking to that route. The Strait of Hormuz affects Europe because most of its oil imports comes from that region. So any volatile situation around that area affects Europe so much. So if you look at Euro GBP here, you could see from minus 29, we are negative 19, still negative minus 10, but still on the negative side. So, but what are we anticipating next on Euro GBP? So for Euro GBP, I'm anticipating something of this nature. Okay, a corrective structure to the upside. So here, I'm anticipating a correction. So I could take advantage of the downside, and then after that, we'll be getting an upside. So I'm anticipating something similar to this nature, and after that, price is expected to continue pushing to the downside for Euro GBP. So that is what I think for Euro GBP. Okay. So move on to the next one. I have GBP as against JPY. This is one currency pair I took massively advantage of, moving into this new week. And it could still further maybe move to the upside, but I think I'm done for now on GBPJPY. I will do nothing for now and allow the market to unfold and see some incoming data coming into the new week. So coming into the new week, maybe there could be some incoming data maybe that is going to influence the Japanese yen and also the British pound. So here we look at the economic calendar to see what we'll have next week, if we are going to see anything that's going to influence here. So we look at the GBP, we can see some inflation data coming in, and also retail sales data seems to be coming in for the GBP as well. So it's a whole lot of data. Let's see what happens for that and see how it influences these currencies, and then we can take proper advantage of those situations. Okay. So for GBPJPY, I'm going to do nothing for now and allow data to come and see how that influences the market, and also having in mind with what is happening in terms of geopolitics, because yen is usually affected because 80% of Japanese oil imports passes through the Strait of Hormuz. So paying attention to geopolitics as well is very crucial. Currently, we are still seeing a continuous strike around the Strait of Hormuz between US and Iran, and still escalated tension. Iran attacking Gulf states, power plants. We are seeing US attacking power plants, and Iran are targeting, USBs and some other oil facilities. And also, Iran has told, the Houthis in Yemen to also block the Bab el Mandeb Strait that, connects the Red Sea, to the Deep Arabian Sea. So let's see how that also affects, the market, because if that happens, it's going to be very bad for not just currency markets, but especially crude oil and other energy products. So let's move on, and the next one we have is GBP against Swiss franc. A similar scenario with pound yen. We didn't look at what we're getting in pound yen. So pound yen from positive 8 to positive 18. So we can see that these institutions are moving on to keeping on to their buys on the GBP JPY pair. So if we look at the GBP chef, we will see from negative 0.5 something to now positive 25. So let's look at the charts to see what we have in terms of GBPJF to know if markets present to us a better opportunity looking at GBPJF. So for GBPJF, I'll be waiting to see how the market unfolds. The market is giving me, a potential structure to the downside. So I'm going to wait. I'm not going to do anything much. I'm going to wait to see how that unfolds. I'm not going to be looking to enter any elements now. I'm going to wait to see some waves and structures and know what to do next in terms of GBPJF, to wait for that technical timing. Fundamental bias is still bullish for pound chef, but technically, I think the timing is not yet set. So you need to always understand how to align your fundamentals with your technicals because they are very crucial. All right. So that is it for GBPJF. So the next one, I have CAD against the euro. So that gives me the pair of euro CAD. So we'll try to understand what institutions are doing with this. So from 20, we are now having a positive 8. So that is a decline in terms of institutional holding. So let's look at the chart. Euro CAD has been selling for some time now. So if we look at the chart to see what is happening, so we can see what is happening in terms of price. So for euro CAD, I'm anticipating price to give us a corrective structure. That is what we could see this week. So we may not be seeing that buying opportunity, and that is giving us that potential pullback, and we are seeing it with institutional holding. And price here has given us one, a 5-wave structure, which is completed. We are anticipating something of this nature. Okay. So price, so this is something I can also take advantage of in terms of the counter trend. Okay, but that depends on the geopolitical situation I'm seeing on the ground to see if I can be able to counter the trade and get something similar to this nature. And then we could continue seeing further move to the downside on EuroCAD. So for EuroCAD this week, I'm anticipating price to push the upside. Not a total reversal, but potentially a corrective structure. That is why I think on EuroCAD, unless maybe other data comes in and then further weakens the card. But for now, I'm anticipating a corrective structure on Euro card, and after that, we could be seeing further downside on Euro Canadian dollars. So moving on, we have a card that's against JPY. So let's look at sentiment and institutional holding to know what's happening. So for CAD JPY from negative 41 now we're at negative 8. So that is a very huge pump up. Okay. So if we go to the chart, so we can also see that actually playing out and see CAD JPY heading to the upside. So for CAD JPY, what do I anticipate on CAD JPY? So any corrective structure similar to what we have seen here would be a potential opportunity to look for buys again to the upside, taking away the current highs. So wait to see corrective structure, then you can go to the upside. If we go down to the 1 hour time frame to see what is happening right now, so you could see that here price gave us an impulse that came in the form of a 3-wave structure. Now we got corrective structure, 3-wave structure, impulse. So anytime this is done, this could be impulse, correction, impulse. Now this is done, it could further give us that corrective structure we are looking at for. So once that is done, it will be an opportunity to continue looking for moves to the upside for CAD JPY. Okay. So the next one is CAD Swiss. So let's look at what we have in terms of the sentiment to see what CAD Swiss is doing. Similar thing with CAD JPY, we can see now from negative 15 and we are at negative 2. So that's also a very big push up in terms of CAD Swiss. So opening CAD Swiss now. So CAD Swiss is also one of the pairs I'm going to be looking to see if I can take some advantage in them. So if you look at advantage on it, if we look at CAD chef, we could see impulse here. Here is a corrective structure. Price has given us impulse. Here a correction. Push it upside. If you go to lower time frame, you can see this is a corrective structure. So after this, I'm most likely going to be looking for opportunity to the upside, taking away all these highs. Okay. This is something I'm going to be looking at for on CAD Swiss, a potential buying opportunity for CAD Swiss. So keep an eye on that as well. Okay. So the next one we have is Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand, I'm going to be a seller or nothing. And Euro New Zealand has been selling for for days and weeks, maybe a week or two now. It's best to wait for a corrective structure before any further action. Here we have gotten from 0, we are now moving to positive 17. So let's go to Euro New Zealand. Regardless of what sentiment is saying, I still understand that Euro New Zealand is still structure to keep on pushing to the downside because of the weakness we are seeing in euro. So what I'm anticipating on euro NZD is anytime we get a corrective structure similar to what we have seen here, it's going to be an opportunity to continue looking for sales to the downside on Euro New Zealand. Remember Euro New Zealand, I told you guys that around this level, when price was around this level, that Euro New Zealand is, structured to push to the downside on Euro New Zealand. So the next one we have on our watch list is New Zealand JPY. New Zealand JPY, let's look at sentiments. But in terms of macros and data, we can see that New Zealand JPY is expected to push to the upside or continue pushing to the upside. So from negative 21, now we are seeing negative 18. That is, a decline in the shorts. So let's look at New Zealand JPY and see what we have there. So you can see for New Zealand JPY, price here has given us a corrective structure, which potentially I think is this. Okay, even if this is the corrective structure, this is either a contracting flat here or this is just a normal regular flat here. But regardless of what structure is saying there, what I'm anticipating here is a more complete corrective structure. Then I can be looking to take NZDJPY continue pushing to the upside, at least going above 95.200 level. That is what I'm anticipating in New Zealand JPY. Okay, the big opportunity has already happened. You can see from 91 down there, and then prices are around close to 95, or even has touched 95 before we are seeing this corrective structure. So that's about $4, or 4 yen, appreciation as against the New Zealand dollar gained as against JPY. So the next one we have is New Zealand Swiss. So if we look at New Zealand Swiss and look at what sentiment is doing or saying with institutional holding from negative 30, now we are negative 11. That is a very good uptick from institutional point of view. So we look at it here so we can still see what is happening. So for NZD Swiss as well, I'm also bullish, based on what we also see on New Zealand here. So this could be impulse correction, impulse here. So the corrective structure here to be an opportunity to continue looking for a move to the upside on New Zealand Swiss franc. Okay. So that is what I think, guys, and I believe this is very helpful. So keep an eye on what we have shared technically, fundamentally, in terms of geopolitics and otherwise. And wishing every trader a profitable trading week ahead. Don't forget to like, share this video, subscribe, give me your thoughts in the comment section, and bye for now.